talking about the best Hydra clan boss team in Raid Shadow Legends. Really excited to share it. Let's get it. What up team, it's your one MurderInc here, back again with another Raid Shadow Legends video. What a video we have here for you today. We are going to be using 3 Inquisitor Shamael. Wait. Okay, did all the whiners leave? Okay, they all left. We're not using Inquisitor Shamael at all. Don't you guys worry. Despite this guaranteed event, if you don't want him, I mean, you should probably still get him if you can, but if you don't want to spend money, it's fine. We have an awesome team to show you here today. So first of all, let's talk about a few things. This is literally using as free to play teams as I can possibly figure out. So 6.6 million damage for the normal chest. We have here, let me see, 20.4 for the hard chest. Now, from my testing, I'll show you a couple screenshots. This, I mean, only 2 champions are left, but this can 1-key normal easily. And this, I ended very healthy. The team here is going to be Ninja, Shield Guard, Masteries, Underpriest Brogni, Arbiter, and finally Cold Heart. So, like I said, this team at 11 million damage, completely healthy and no threat of dying at all. So this is really cool, and I did do a few turns with the Head of Wrath here, not a problem at all. The gear is going to be fine, you will see that. There are going to be tons of champions you can like switch places with this. I tried to use as many champions that are accessible or people do have. Now listen, if you're early game, the Hydra's not for you. Let's just be clear about that. Normal Hydra is 1 step above Ultra Nightmare. If you're not doing Ultra Nightmare, don't be disappointed you're not doing the Hydra, because 4-star gear isn't going to cut it. I see a lot of people saying it's insanely hard. It's supposed to be, because it's that next level of difficulty in content here. The gear I'm going to be using is not crazy. I did so many things to make sure that was the case here. I'm using an Arbiter, and I'm just going to show you guys in game here. So let me go over here. It should be my recently saved team. Okay, so no one's empowered here. This Arbiter, I do have a +4 Arbiter, but I don't even have this Arbiter booked at all. So if you have a booked Arbiter, your team's already going to be better than what I'm going to show you here today. Now, one thing to note about the first team here that I showed you, I used Armiger here because I had someone in the comment section of the last video about Septimus that I did saying Armiger is going to be better even if it's half the damage, the cooldown's lower. It's not the case, trust me. This 8.8 million should be 15-16 million damage on normal. It was such a bad idea to use Armiger. I didn't give him crazy gear because I was trying to do this with reasonable gear, and his damage was so much lower than everyone else on the team. Don't use Armiger, trust me. I had him in reflex gear. I used some refresh accessories on him. I had to build his crit damage so much higher than Cold Heart, and he still was doing half the damage. It's just insane. So let's get that out of the way right now. Going to show you the stats. Nothing here is going to be speed tuned, so you guys have so much freedom to do that. Let's go ahead into a hard key now. Take this team for a spin here. There is some RNG involved, as you can expect, because we have nothing clearing their true fears here. The main purpose and the main goal of this team, we have all of the roles covered. Ninja deals a lot of damage. Shield Guard, aka Shield God, you're going to see why he's incredibly strong. Masteries, cleansing. Brogni's kind of the support role, applying some heals. Cold Heart, single target damage, a lot of single heart damage. Brogni also has the HP burn and Arbiter, of course, Reviver. Now if I have Arbiter booked, which most people are probably going to have Arbiter booked, she's going to be much better. I have a +4 Arbiter, already used her in a key that I did before, so can't show her, and I wasn't going to do that just for this video, so we're going to use this HP burn here, get as much damage as we possibly can. Decrease speed would be nice. Who should we do it? I mean, it's going to get cleansed, so never mind, that doesn't matter. Let's go ahead and use this ability on the Head of Torment here, 176,000 damage, I like it. As far as the weaken goes, doesn't matter. If we can avoid True Fear, the benefit of having single target A1 champions as opposed to the Inquisitor Shamael strat, which is huge, is you can just target other heads. That's all you have to do. Madam Sarah's perfect example here. We just target other heads here. Do have the True Fear on Brogni, so we're just going to burn that A1 once again. HP burn, additional effect here. Decrease speed. Ideally, we want to get this to land on the Head of Decay if we can. If not, it's not a huge deal here. Now we're going to do our best to try to remove these debuffs and risk getting the fear, which is fine. 1 turn duration on all of them. Perfect. Now we have 10 turns left. Let's reduce the cooldown of the HP burn because that's a huge source of damage for sure. The probability of us hitting the Torment, since it's 4 times at random, is high, so let's just burn this. We'll deal some damage to ourselves. We really want this to happen here. This is going to be crucial. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to wait. I'm going to use this. We'll strip the buffs after here. He's going to get a turn and try to steal this next wave. Big brain plays here. Always watch your cooldowns. It's going to make a world of difference here. Let's try to get the weaken on this guy. We didn't get it. Decrease speed once again would be nice here. Okay, he doesn't want to proc. I don't even know if I built him with accuracy, so that's the thing there. Now we can just keep A1ing this head. We never want this shield ward to go on Mischief in case Mischief consumes target. We all know how incredibly annoying that is. So if that does happen, we really don't want that shield, because then you just have to restart the run. So that's where some RNG is going to come into the mix here. Let's use this. We're not getting the focus we do want, but it's whatever. Now, ideally, we want to stun this Head of Torment here. That would be the best case scenario. We can go ahead, try to steal this. Okay, we did steal that. Perfect. Let's just keep A1ing this. Working our way, getting this shield as low as possible. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so Head of Mischief is going to be the one to consume Ninja. How do I know that? 3 heads are going to go. It's going to go down to 3 turns, and this guy's faster to lap this guy if I am correct. So I guess we're going to find out momentarily. Let's go ahead. She doesn't have fear. We can still waste it here. Ideally, we do want to stun this guy to reduce the incoming damage by as much as possible here. His health is getting a bit low, so that's something to look at for sure. We have a little bit more in this shield to get through here. Let's just burst that A1. Okay, his health should be low enough. Actually, it looks like we're going to get lucky, and Head of Suffering may, in fact, be the champion. So let's get the weaken on, even though he's going to cleanse right here. Let's just burn this there. Heartseeker. We have to kind of risk this now. We don't want to hit Torment. Okay, even better. Oh, okay, so Head of Decay. I was wrong in every possible way. And we had weaken on, so we didn't cleanse the True Fear. So let's just try to do this. Perfect. Cold Heart dies. Who cares? Because we have a Reviver, because we're smart. Let's do this now. So this is the hardest hump to get over. Ninja, whoever your carry DPS champion is, whenever they get consumed, it's a rough time, right? It's just a rough time. So as soon as you get them out, the run goes a lot easier for pretty much everybody. They have increased attack. We don't really care. Let's try to get this weaken on the target. Perfect. It's going to get cleansed. I don't know why I said perfect. Not perfect. Okay, that was stolen. Let's just use Heartseeker so we get it off of cooldown. Decent amount of damage there. Let's go ahead and use that. So Ninja, we're in a pretty good spot now. We are going to get a shield, but we don't really care. Let's just burn this. Once we get Ninja out, like I said, things are going to be smooth sailing going forward. We have 8 turns left before Brogni gets consumed, which is fine. The shared protection, this could have been a problem, but since the shield for the Devour is so low, it doesn't really matter. Let's go ahead and use that. Ninja's back out, smooth sailing across the board. So as we can see, we're not doing crazy damage per second, or per turn count rather, but it's still going to be good enough. We got rid of reflect damage, this is fine. Now you're gonna have to consider, what do you want to focus on in your team? It's gonna come down to that. Do you want to kill Torment Head and really hope and pray that it's not going to reappear? That's definitely a viable strategy. Do you want to keep using your Cold Heart to get as much damage as they possibly can into the Head of Suffering, which is where the most of the damage is going to come from? All of this is protected, so let's just hit this guy. We'll take the True Fear, we don't care. AoE, this is fine. We can try to steal everything, which we did. Decrease speed would be nice, we did get it. Beautiful. So everything is going according to plan. Now we're just using A1s, picking Head to kind of burst down. And then this is basically the run right here. The only kind of snags you can hit in a scenario like this is going to be trying to use cooldowns when you have True Fear. Never be in that position. It's going to take a few runs for you to get used to that, or getting consumed by the Head of Mischief, which, as I've shown you from this run, it's not the easiest thing to do, but it's doable. It's not impossible. It can be done if you carefully plan and watch the turn meters. I was wrong on when I tried to plan this out, where I thought it was going to be to where it actually happened. Stealing the turn meters play a huge role in that department for sure. And Head of Torment slaps, by the way. So this is all good. We're going to use the HP burn, a lot of big damage here. Let's go ahead and use this A1, decrease speed, even better, buys us more time. We do have the revive coming up, so we will be safe. Let's go ahead and revive you. Extra turn, gotta love Arbiter. And let's go ahead and use this. We are going to break Brogni out momentarily, which is the good news. And yeah, like I said, this is the pretty much rundown of the entire team. Everything goes like this. Haven't tried this in Brutal because they're not really geared for Brutal. I'd have to change the speeds on all of them. Ideally, actually, we don't really want Shield Guard to die per se. I mean, we could have him die, but not going to be the most ideal thing. So we need 20 million damage for this difficulty. You might be thinking to yourself, Murder, what about the marks? The Devour marks, they're going to stack up quickly. They are, however, like I said, Ninja's damage is going to ramp up very, very fast. So every time he uses that HP burn, he's going to be dealing absurd damage. When he uses that A3 ability, it's going to be doing like 200,000 damage. And like I said, I will show you the gear of all the champions for sure. So not as big of a deal as a lot of people are going to think. And if I could do 11 million damage with being completely healthy with this team with these stats, you guys are going to do a lot better, assuming you have a fully booked Arbiter. Which, I mean, I think it's fair to say that most people will have a fully booked Arbiter. So all of this is going on. We do have Fear, so we don't want to hit the Torment Head just yet here. Let's turn meter boost, heal, burn that A1, back to the True Fear. We're going to get fully cleansed, so we're going to be smart here. We're going to burn this A1 on a random target, let the debuffs get cleared, then reapply defense down. Let's just focus on this guy. Okay, that happened. That's fine. One turn until revive. We'll just hit this reflect. It does do a little bit of damage to us, but we will be fine in the end. Let's go for the HP burn. Okay, 2 champions are dead. Ooh, as long as Arbiter... Okay, Arbiter did die here, so... Unlucky, crits, just reset the run, you're going to be fine. So that's the basic rundown of this team here. I did die at 4 million damage, but there's going to be a variance for every single team here. So what I want to do now is I want to show you the gear of these champions, what I have them using, and I believe they should be at the top of the list if I remember correctly, and they're not. GG Plarium, fix your game. This is the most annoying thing ever. So now I have to individually search all of these champions. Let's go back to rank and let's find the first one, which is going to be Arbiter. Arbiter. So Arbiter is in regeneration gear. You don't need this gear set. I had tried to figure out a way to make my stats reasonable. 293 speed, reasonable for an arena Arbiter. You should be focusing on Hydra at this point. If you're slower than this, maybe you're doing Ultra Nightmare, maybe you're not, but you can go with slower speed. This is just the speed that I picked out that should be reasonable for someone on hard difficulty. If you're on normal, you don't need to be this fast. Like I said, the main takeaway is having a booked Arbiter is going to help a lot. I did it unbooked, so there is that, but having them booked is going to be huge. 62,000 health, 3,000 attack, doesn't matter. Accuracy is nice, resistance you don't need it because you can't resist the fear, and the other debuffs don't really matter too much. As far as masteries go, she doesn't even have masteries. So if you wanted to get even more damage out of these teams, you can mastery her. Whatever you do, don't take deterrence. Deterrence is really good with Inquisitor Shamael, but without him, it's not good because you're going to get feared. If you have an important cooldown coming up, you're using A1s on other targets, you don't want your champion to go and counterattack the figurehead torment. That's going to apply true fear and mess up your whole plan. So even more of a reason why you can get so much more damage out of this team than I currently did. And I believe Ninja is the only other legendary that I use for this team, which most players should have if they're at the Hydra level. 205 speed, you can go higher, you can go lower. Crit damage, very mediocre. 213 accuracy, 4,100 attack, 46,000 health. Defense, these guys are squishy, they're supposed to be. Ideally, if they can die with the Devour Mark on top of them, they're in good standing. As far as this, we do have the counter attack, which is nice. This is, okay, so this is the master is talking about Resurgent. When you get hit, and most likely you're going to get hit for 25% of your health, this can remove True Fear, which is huge. This can, I wouldn't say save you, but it can do a lot of damage and bring your cooldowns back up quicker if you have that True Fear, since we're not cleansing it ourselves. Because I know so many players are having problems cleansing their own debuffs, which is huge. Underpriest Brogni, I used this one here. Like I said, his gear's nothing crazy. Resistance, you don't need resistance on this champion. He's not going to get targeted over Madame Saris, as we saw. I needed a place to dump stats in based on the gear I wanted to use here. So I figured since resistance is going to be useless and I don't have a really bad quality gear I could use that's good enough for the content, I just dumped it all in resistance. Accuracy is important though, so give him accuracy. Crit damage doesn't matter. Speed 245, it's a little bit fast, you don't have to have him that fast. Defense could be higher. HP is good because this determines the size of the shield here. And as far as masteries go, of course, how that even happens, I don't know. GG Plarium, like there's even an option. I mean, I guess the X is there, but I could have clicked that, who knows. So we do have this masteries for this champion. We have Giant Slayer, of course. Resurgent, once again, is the main point here. And then we have our 3 epic friends, which is going to be, I think, Cold Heart number 3. I didn't take Giant Slayer because the odds of the A1 hitting the same target multiple times just for Giant Slayer is not very high with 4 heads here. Resurgent, of course, is going to be the theme of everybody. And it looks like I don't even have a crit damage necklace. I have this, which didn't proc once in the run, so that's where you can get a lot of extra damage from. Crit damage, extremely low. It can be very low. I do have that spreadsheet you can check out for single target damage dealers with defense down, without it, or with defense down and weaken, which you need. It can be very low. I doubt anyone's going to have this low crit damage. I didn't really build health. Speed is average. Accuracy, if you want to risk having decreased accuracy on the Head of Mischief, that could be a strategy in running resistance, but you're going to get feared every time you use this, so keep that in mind. So nothing crazy about her build. Shield Guard, great champion. Like I said, I'm going to do a video just for him. 200 accuracy, that's kind of low. It's probably why decreased speed wasn't landing too often. 167 crit damage, way too much crit rate. 200 speed, he gets a lot of speed from that A2 ability, boosting the turn meter based on hitting all the targets. 3,400 defense, 35,000 health overall. His masteries pretty much the same, but I did take the turns because he does cleanse True Fear off of himself, which is huge. And of course Resurgent, and I believe that is all of the champions. Yeah. You can do so much with this team. If you have Inquisitor Shamael, you're not going to need this, but you would have to have 3 Inquisitor Shamaels to completely discard a strategy like this. If you have him, you can use an Inquisitor team and then a team like this. The odds of players not having any substitutes for the champions that I'm using here today are very, very low. This team is using the bare minimum champions I found that can 1-key hard and normal difficulty. Brutal, it would take a lot more gear. I don't recommend using this for brutal. No way you can 1-key brutal with a team like this, I can tell you that right now. But the options you have, think about the roles of the champions I'm using. Single target champions. First of all, if you have a Septimus instead of a Cold Heart, you're golden. That's going to increase your damage by so much, it's insane. Outside of that, Ninja, you could replace Ninja. I probably wouldn't. He's a really strong champion for that role slot. As far as Underpriest Brogni, if you have Raglan will work. Sathalia, of course, is going to replace Madame Saris, but you would need a defense down after that. I personally value Madame Saris very high because she applies defense down on all the targets without hitting them, which is key here. Dracomorph would also work. Dracomorph, of course, has that poison that you might not want to use if you're fighting it, so you can just A1 the non-torment head, or if you're burning the torment head like I was explaining earlier, that's going to be a viable strategy for sure. Let me see, if you have a Duchess, you don't even need this team. You could use someone like a Tomb Lord. Tomb Lord also doesn't hit the targets and does apply defense down and attack down. I did not use attack down for this run. If you want to incorporate Padma, Padma is going to be really strong as well. Like I said, endless possibilities for you guys. Ideally, you want single target A1 champions to make this work. Don't go crazy with buffs. You don't need a lot of buffs to survive. On the early difficulties, regardless of your gear, I did use Underpriest Brogni's shield to help me out a lot. You can use him, or you can use someone like Godseeker and Neri, who just provides raw healing for your team, which is nice. And it gives you another backup if you wanted to run Godseeker and Arbiter together. That's just another revive helping you out in the long run there. So that's my video. Hopefully this helped a lot of you guys out. I know I'm glad I found this team. This should help. I mean, I've seen people doing like 500,000 damage on the normal difficulty. I've seen people, they kind of don't care, and I understand that. There's another video that I want to talk about where Plarium, the game devs, kind of talked about the Hydra overall, and I think it's important to share with you guys what they said about that and the feedback that's going back and forth, but that's definitely for another time. This should help a lot of people to 1k normal, help your clans get normal down. The chests are worth it if you can get double. And like I said, this team, it's very easy to get 6.6 million here. You are going to need better gear for getting the 20 million damage from the hard difficulty. And like I said, the team that I was running is the least optimal team you could possibly run overall. There's fantastic replacements for everybody that you guys are smart enough to figure out based on the champions I used, who does what they do, what can I do, how can I improve. Ally attack could be very strong. If you're running single target A1 champions, you can just target the Head of Suffering, ally attack it, debuff it. That could be very strong as well. So you guys have so many tools with all of your accounts because they're going to be different across the board here. So I'm looking forward to seeing the success you guys can come up with for this with all this new information out. Don't forget, guys, if you enjoy this content, smash that like button, subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss my next video, and I will see you all in the next upload.